Claudette has been a member of Lunch Out Loud Toastmasters since 2009. Toastmasters has helped her develop both her communications and her leadership skills, both of which are very evident in any meeting that we've ever been at. Participation in the meeting roles and club officer roles has provided for this development. And now is the time for all of us to get involved in a role. Claudette's going to talk to us about the roles and how we can sign up today. Claudette. Before we get started, I would like everyone to take out their competent communication manuals. And at the back of your manual, if you don't have one of the new ones, I can give you one to borrow and look at. But I would like for you to go to page 67, and that has the beginning of meeting roles and responsibilities. It's just a way for you to refer to some of the information that I'm going to be discussing today. Okie dokie. Does anybody need a manual to refer to? The word of the day, Pat?
You want to see the word of the day?
Yeah, let's start with the word of the day real quick. Opulent.
The word is opulent. Okay. And it means luxurious, sleek, affluent. He advised her to he's envious. What's that? Envious. Advised. He envies her opulent lifestyle.
Great. Thank you, Pat, for that word of the day. How many of you, when you joined Toastmasters, thought, oh great, I'm going to learn how to speak better, and that is what I really want out of Toastmasters? A lot of you. How many of you thought, oh great, I'm going to join Toastmasters, and I'm going to learn how to become a better leader and organizer? A few of you did. Okay. Toastmasters is a dual education program. There's the competent communicator track, which obviously is about the public speaking aspect. And then there's the competent leadership track, which is about learning how to be a better leader both professionally, personally, and within Toastmasters. And the way that happens is through the meeting roles and responsibilities. For those of you that are new to Toastmasters, you may not have even taken on a role yet, or maybe you've just taken on the timer grammarian role. But today we're going to talk about all of the roles that happen in the meeting, and then also the roles that happen outside of the meeting, such as the officer roles, and why it's important in Toastmasters to fill those roles and to be able to assume some of those duties. Okay? The first role that is of importance in a meeting is the Toastmaster role. And anyone can take on the Toastmaster role, even if you're new. I say go for it. It's a great opportunity to learn how a meeting works. The Toastmaster is responsible prior to the meeting to ensure that the agenda gets filled. And on our website, our Lunch Out Loud website, when you log in and you go to the agendas, you can see who has signed up for roles, and you can email the agenda out to all the members and say, hey everybody, we need the roles filled just like I did this week. The other item that the Toastmaster does at the meeting is they should arrive early, and by early I mean at least 15 minutes ahead of time, particularly if your agenda isn't complete. Today I arrived very early because I also had a speaking role. And I wanted to make sure that I had the technology taken care of and I was prepared. When you arrive early, you want to make sure that with your Sergeant at Arms, the meeting room is set up to your liking, that you have roles filled, and that you have everything in place for a smooth running meeting. Sometimes as Toastmaster, you have to adapt. Maybe your meeting room got used at the very last minute, and you have to go to a different meeting room. Maybe your speaker didn't show up at the last minute because they had an emergency. The Toastmaster role has to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt to changes. Okay? The other role that's an assigned role is the Table Topics Master. And today, Jan is our Table Topics Master. Jan, can you tell us about what the Table Topics Master or the Topics Master is responsible for?
The Table Topics Master is responsible for the individual topics that each person will be addressing. The point of it is to be able to speak extemporaneously on your feet and not really know what the topic's going to be, and you have about 1 to 2 minutes to present.
Thanks, Jan. So Table Topics is an opportunity for everyone in the meeting to speak, and Jan will be spearheading that piece of the meeting later on. And she will call on people, or she might have some people pre-selected. She may ask guests to participate as well. And the Topics Master, if you don't sign up ahead of time for it, one of the things that's great about our supplies is we have some wonderful cards that provide for some topics that you don't necessarily have to prepare for as a Table Topics Master. The other role that's important is our speaker roles. And today I fulfilled one of the speaking roles. What happens is we have individuals in the club that are speaking from different manuals. Perhaps it's the Competent Communicator Manual, maybe it's an advanced manual. Today I'm actually speaking from what's called the Successful Club series. It's an advanced speaking series that you have to complete when you're doing your advanced communication roles. And what's great about it is it comes pre-packaged with slides and an outline, and you add your information to it. It's a great opportunity to provide some insight into how the club works. Now the speakers, obviously, if you've been a speaker before, you realize that as a speaking role, you need to be prepared, you need to come with your topic already picked out. But we have some great speakers in our club that sometimes can do what we call a pocket speech. And that's maybe a speech that they've thought about and they have in their mind, and it's in their back pocket, so to speak. Okay. Our other roles that are important is the general evaluator role. The general evaluator role is a very important role, and today Sharon is our general evaluator. Can you tell us what your role is?
The general evaluator evaluates the meeting as a whole, most particularly the person evaluating the speaker. I won't be evaluating the speaker, I'll be evaluating the evaluator. Each of us has assigned roles, and the general evaluator determines how well those roles will be fulfilled.
Great, thank you, Sharon. Other aspects that the general evaluator completes is they ask for the reports at the end of the meeting from the grammarian and the timer as far as what went well and what didn't go well. We also have a timer, and today Doug is our timer, and I know you're keeping track of my time, but what else are you involved with?
The timer, one of the lessons to be practiced in speech training is that of expressing a thought within a specific time. The timer is responsible for keeping track of the time of each segment and participant in the meeting. The timer signals when the participant signals the participant with a green light when qualifying time has been reached, and we are in that range. At the midpoint of their time with the yellow light, and a red light will signal when 30 seconds remain. After 30 seconds, the participant is disqualified and the timer will ring a bell. The Toastmaster will call, or general evaluator will call on the timer to report.
Thank you, Doug. And how many minutes did you give for me for this talk?
10 to 15.
Okay. I'll probably be more on the 15 minutes side. And then Pat is our grammarian today. Pat, can you tell us what the grammarian does?
The grammarian not only gets a word of the day, but keeps track of all your usage of ahs and ums and so's and okays and filler words, and also takes note of any good word usage.
Thank you. And you see on the slide it says the ah counter. The ah counter, we've combined the grammarian and the ah counter together here in our club, primarily because we're a smaller club. For the larger clubs, they sometimes add the ah counter. It's not always a role that gets in your competent leadership manual that you get credit for, keeping that in mind. There's also some additional roles that you can have. For example, the joke master, maybe they're telling a joke of the day. An individual that can do the invocation at the beginning instead of the Pledge of Allegiance. And then there's also the vote counter and the parliamentarian, and that's if you have a pretty large club and you're voting on the best speech of the day, or maybe the best, club Toastmaster of the day. Now I'm going to talk about some of the other roles, the officer meeting roles. And these are roles that, in our club, we do hold elections, but they're very informal elections because we're a small club. And in order to maintain your designated distinguished club status, you need to have these particular roles filled by individuals. Okay? The first role is the Sergeant-at-Arms, and Sharon is our wonderful Sergeant-at-Arms here. And the Sergeant-at-Arms role is listed up there first because I think it's the most important role that happens in a club for the officers. The reason being is the Sergeant-at-Arms is responsible for the meeting location and a lot of the behind-the-scenes things that happen. For example, she makes sure that the room is secure, that all of our items are set up in time for the meeting. She communicates and works with the individual here at the church to ensure that there's communication about holding our meetings here. And if for some reason we were not able to have this space, she would be partly responsible for helping to locate another meeting location. We also have a president role, and the president role is more of a, I don't want to say a cheerleader in nature, but the president really has to inspire and encourage the officers in their club to be spectacular. They don't necessarily have very specific roles, the president doesn't, primarily to ensure that everybody else is doing their role and helping them if they need help. Am I really at 15 minutes? Oh my God. Vice President of Education, that is my role. And as Vice President of Education, I'm responsible for assisting new members and current members and advanced members in completing their tracks, either the communication track or the leadership track. We have a Vice President of Public Relations, and she's not here today. Shannon is her name, and she is the webmaster. She makes sure our website keeps up to date and all the agendas are posted, and she helps with getting the word out about Lunch Out Loud. She's worked with Jan in getting the Facebook page up and getting the meetup page set up and doing a lot of that back, sort of behind the scenes work as well. Our VP of Membership, Vice President of Membership, is Jan Parrish, and Jan is responsible for ensuring that we have good membership, current members, and also recruiting new members. She's here at the meetings, make sure we have meeting membership applications, that there's information to give to guests, to encourage them to join. And there's some other things as well that are involved in the Vice President of Membership role. The Secretary role, we have Doug as our Secretary, keeper of all the notes and information, and he has been instrumental in getting a lot of our papers, our files, on our Lunch Out Loud website so that they're digital, which is great for continuing our club assets, if you will. And then Carrie Clark is our treasurer, and Carrie is responsible for the dineros that we have in the club. She maintains our bank account and ensures that checks get deposited, keeps track of expenses and our deposits. Those are the officer roles, those are the meeting roles. You can see from those roles there's a lot of opportunity for education and leadership. With that being said, I want to encourage everyone to take an opportunity to sign up for a meeting role, get your feet wet, and get involved. It's a great way to learn leadership skills in a very non-threatening environment. We're all kind. We're here to help you learn. We're not here to judge your mistakes. We want you to become a better leader. And then the officer roles are for those, even if you've never been an officer ever before, it's a great opportunity to learn. There is training, we have the manuals that explain everything, and we help each other out. We're not here, again, to grade you on your effectiveness. It's all a part of the learning process. And again, as Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And that's what makes a successful club. Thank you very much.
For more information on Lunch Out Loud Toastmasters, please visit our website at www.lunchoutloud.com.